Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be looking at not one but two items from Rise of the Beasts. And now I get that it was a bit of a controversial movie in terms of fan reaction to it. Some people really didn't like it, or they didn't like the introduction of beasts because they're not Beast Wars fans. Some people said it's not real exciting compared to some of the others. Me, myself, I absolutely loved it and thought it was one of the best written and certainly the best edited, cleanest movie. I said it might not have the most heart, it might not be the most exciting, but in terms of being a Transformers film, I thought it was really, really clean. However, it also led to having, naturally, a line of products that would come out to accompany it. And part of that line has been Rhinox. Times two, really. This is the little battle master, weaponizer, target master Rhinox. This is the mainline Rise of the Beasts, which seems to be shell forming like crazy in a lot of places, even though every time I've heard somebody talk about this one, they've said it's the best Rhinox we've gotten. Is that true? Well, we're going to find out when we look at not one but two Rhinoxes, Rhinox-I, in the latest GotBot True review. Hey, what hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below, also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is, like I said, two versions of Rhinox. Now, I've actually heard only good things about both of these, even though they seem to be shell-forming because, I don't know, people don't like rhinoceroses, people don't like Beast Wars. I don't know why it's been shell-forming. I would guess a lot of it has to do with the monochromatic nature. Like, whether you're talking about this or the studio series, you got a lot of, like, silver and brown. You know, it's not the most exciting of color schemes, but that doesn't mean the product isn't excellent, and that doesn't mean the product isn't exciting. So this is a 2-for-1 review, a mini one, and a full one. Without any further ado, how about we head over to the table to take a closer look at these guys. And yes, indeed, today, of course, is a 2-for-1 as we look at a couple of Rhinoxes. I don't have the box because this is on loan by a good friend of the channel, Maximal10. I do, however, have the instructions, which I have out front here. They're actually wildly effective. They're actually quite good, so I'm going to take that out of it. And we have two Rhinoxes this time around. This is the little, I don't know what we call it, like the little target master guy. We'll see his transformation in a moment. And then we have the mainline Rise of the Beast Rhinox. And I've heard that the transformation stuff here is actually very, very, very good. So we'll see about that as we go, of course. We all know what the Generations Rhinox was like. Pretty darn good, but he does have his hip issues. And we do know what the Kingdom Rhinox is like. The back legs of the Rhino mode for that one are atrocious, really. The transformation for that is really, really rough. I don't happen to have either of them here with me right now, but honestly, we all know what, you know, a Beast Wars Rhinox looks like. This is certainly a departure from that. Indeed, in terms even of accuracy to the show, well, you know what, we'll get to that, or the movie, I mean, you know what, we'll get to that in a few moments. But before we kind of look at the mainline guy, we're going to look at the little target master dude first. So in terms of accuracy to Rhinox, he doesn't have a robot mode at all, so we can only really kind of go on the, I don't know, like the little battle master Rhino mode, I guess. And then, you know, in terms of accuracy to Rhinox, I mean, it's a little Rhino. I think he even has the green eye, which is cool. I mean, he's Rhino brown and silver. I mean, if I looked at it, I would say, oh yeah, it's a little tiny Rhinox from Rise of the Beast. It's obviously not the Beast Wars one, right? Make of that, I guess, what you will. Not much to do in this mode. I mean, he does have these ball joints, but because they're on the inside of the leg, he doesn't really have any knees. He can just kind of like angle his leg in, so I don't know. I don't know if that's good to you. Cool, I guess. In terms of the transformation, we split the entire body out. We bring it all the way up and around. We bring it all the way up and in, like that. And I guess we can fold the little hoofs. Is that what these are called? Hooves, I guess. Up underneath. And we can bring out a handle, and boom, here he is in his little Gatling gun alt mode. Fun little transformation. Kind of neat. Does this... I didn't have any... what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, this looks like it can transform or do something. I didn't have any instructions for this, so I'm not 100% sure about it. Like, I don't know why this is able to come out, but it can, and it just slots in. So I'm sure that there's a reason for it. But honestly, I'm not that invested in this to really care that much. It's a neat little blaster, fun little transformation. I guess... if I was to give this an overall score, and I can't grade it the way I would normally grade stuff. This is fun for what it is. I'll give it a 7, I guess. Why not? And now we can move on to the regular mainline Rise of the Beast Rhinox mode. The big boy, a Voyager. I believe in North America he was a Walmart exclusive. At least I think he was here in Canada, because I have literally not seen the mainline Primal, Prime, or Rhinox anywhere but Walmart. This guy has certainly shelf warmed, but I think it might be a disservice, and I think a lot of it is probably related to the fact that he's such a sea of brown, which it might be somewhat accurate. I mean, it's hard to say because he was kind of silvers and browns and rusts in the movie, so while the studio series tends to go with a more silver motif, certainly for the chest and head, they went with more brown here, and I don't know if one is necessarily more accurate than the other, to be perfectly honest with you. This seems pretty decent for accuracy, right down to like even the leg detail here. I'm gonna give it an 8 for accuracy. He can hold himself as a battle master. I mean, you want to talk about self-love and supporting oneself and whatnot. I mean, you can't do much more than to defend yourself with yourself. He comes with his Gatling guns, beautifully painted with silver and green. They can go affixed to ports on his shoulder, which I really like. If you don't want them in his hand, you can put them on his hand. If you want to put them on the shoulder, use one of these side ports over here on the side of it. Or you can also come here, and this comes off if you, for whatever weird reason, would like to put it there on the arm. I don't know if that's accurate to the movie. I don't really remember that from the movie, but that's not saying that it wasn't like this in the movie. Me, personally, I think I would just leave it up right there and call it good. So, yeah, that's kind of all of his accessories and whatnot. Let's get all of that out of the way so that we can look at the boy himself. Just let me get this stuff out of the way and get myself slightly set up here. Give me a moment. Okay, so let's do this. We're saying an 8 for the look. And that's a bit debatable. I admit it's always hard to know about animation accuracy when you're dealing with the live action movies. But we're going to say an 8. Then we have the articulation. Let's see how that is. Head goes left and right. No real up or down. The arms can go all the way around. This armature feels very Kingdom-ish to me, the way that it moves here. This whole piece that has the flip back, I find this cumbersome. What about elbow? We got 90 degrees at the elbow. We have a bicep swivel built into the arm here, which is nice. Wrist can go in, but no rotation at the wrist. We do have a waist, very nice. Legs can go all the way forward. Legs can go all the way back. Bringing the arms way out to the side. Legs can also go way out. More than you'll ever need them to. We have a swivel built at the knee. We have 90 degrees at the knee. And even with all of the junk on the back of the leg, like, we get that solid 90 degrees. That said, if he wants to sit down, he's sitting on the back of his legs. We have toe, I guess, that can go forward and back a bit. And we do have an ankle tilt on the guy for a little more dynamic posing. And you know what? Not for nothing, but the guy is super duper solid on his feet. I'm gonna say Wrist would be nice, but that's about it. I'm going to say 9.75 for the articulation. Really, really, really good. So an 8, a 9.75, the guy's easily a 9.25 right now. And we have not done the transformation yet. Let's do that so that we can get out of here. I'm going to hope that I remember how to do this. No guarantees though. Let's pick off the back here and let's fold out that section. And all of this will end up, and let's turn the head around. And like all this can kind of come up over the head. And I'm going to leave all that there like that for now. Then we deal with the arms. Now, the instructions weren't, I guess, super duper clear about this. So I'm just going to mention it now, though I'm sure everybody knows. First, let's put our hands in. That way they're done. And the instructions show to rotate this back, and a lot of people just rotate that back and said, no, it's not matching up. That's because this whole piece needs to rotate back. Unfortunately, I do find if you're not careful, it'll go too far, and then this piece will come off of the mushroom peg when you try to rotate it up, and this piece, also on a mushroom peg in here, will come off, at least in my experience. So I bring it up here like this, and I turn the front leg thusly. And I make sure that that's closed in on the body. And that's where I'm currently too. Then we come over here, again, we have to rotate the whole thing up, and it does kind of like soft lock into place. And we bring this around. That's really the front of the dino done. By the way, not for nothing, though it's done over his head, and his head is kind of in the mouth, you can open the jaw, so I'll do that now as well. Then we get to the back. So the front, excellent transformation, very easy to do. The back here is very interesting. So we have a back leg in here, and we can bring this out. We have a back leg here, and we can bring that out. We take the shin, and we open it to the inside, and take the shin, and we open it to the inside, and we can bring up a foot, and we can bring up a foot. Okay. And I guess maybe fold down those toes a bit, just so it all fits in there. Okay. We rotate at the knee, and we rotate at the knee. I think I'm doing this right. I really hope I'm doing this right. And I think now we... Hold on. Oh! We have to turn at the waist. Sorry about that. We do have to turn the waist around. And now we should be able to bring those legs together. And these should be able to come down around the back and down around the back. Okay, yeah. Now we put these together and we should be able to kind of bend the legs up and the waist up so that the two little slots up here go over these two pegs way up here. So we bend the knees, I guess, and bring it up at the waist, like a sitting pose, basically. And then these should basically tab in. Oh, hold on. I got to bring that back up and snap that piece in. Bring this up and tab those in. Bring these onto the back. Make sure all of that is locked, and then we bring these down on the side, and boom, in the end, here we have Rhinox in his Rhino mode. And man, oh man, what a brilliant little transformation. He was getting a 9.25, the transformation's a 10. I love the way the entire back end is done. This is like a 9.75. It's fantastic. It really is. You wouldn't think it, because he does have a bit of a boring look, but man, it's really, really good. In this mode, we do have a tail molded in. It's too bad the tail isn't its own piece, but I feel like if it was its own piece, it would also be hindered because it would have to be like a soft rubbery plastic or something like the Generations one. But in this mode, we have the legs back here. They have a little knee to them. I guess you could always kind of pick them off a little bit there. These are tabbed in on the side into the thigh, so they stay quite solid on the side. Forward and back at the shoulder. I do wish we had a knee here. We don't. That's the only real bummer there. But if you open the leg out, you do have a knee to the side for stability purposes. The jaw can open and close, and the head can angle up and down. No side to side. But man, Compared to what we usually get in Rhino mode with Rhinox, that's a lot of articulation. I think that this is absolutely a hoot. This guy is fun. He's been overlooked, and that's a crying shame. I think the little Battlemaster guy, he's neat overall. He's like any of those things. He's like a 5, very middle of the road. But this guy is a diamond in the rough. He is absolutely fun and very, very functional in both modes. And here we are once again, and here they are. First things first, let's do the little Battlemaster lad. Great little Rhino. Too bad that the way the legs are molded means you have no knees. I think that's a bummer. Other than that, I think it looks pretty good with the brown. I like the silver paint. He has the green eye, which is really cool. When you open this out to be the blaster, it's a great, cool looking Gatling gun. Why the Gatling piece can detach, I don't know. I didn't have instructions. And while I'm sure there's probably a reason for it, I really don't care enough to look that up. The transformation, very simple, no robot mode, so that's a bit of a bummer. This is one of those things like, it's a neat little niche thing, it's a neat little novelty, but in terms of like an actual collection, I'm not sure why this exists. It's fun for what it is, it's a neat little novelty if you want a Rhino that turns into a blaster. Then we get to this guy. This is phenomenal. This is really, really quite excellent. The articulation is second to none in robot mode. Even in this mode, the articulation is pretty good, what with the knee bend on the back legs. I do wish that the knee bend for the front legs was accessible. I mean, as it is, you can still move it back and forth, but it's not really accessible. I love that you could store these on his arms. I get that some others have stored it like up underneath or some such thing. I've always found that to be a bit iffy. The entire back half of the Rhino is an elegant transformation that honestly just sort of folds up and compresses in at the hips to go together here very well. Right down to an articulated mouth. I mean, he's been overlooked. Didn't have this fully snapped together. He's been overlooked, I think because he's mainline and some people got issues with him not looking exactly like Beast Wars, myself included. But in terms of a Rhinox, and honestly, maybe in terms of a custom Rhinox potentially, this is quite excellent. My only gripe that I've personally encountered comes to the little gray plastic pieces of the shoulders. Not the shoulder piece, the whole piece that rotates back and up. I do find that can be a little bit cumbersome if you go too far with it, but it's not something that you can't work around. This is not given the credit it deserves. It's an excellent design. Arguably one of, if not the best Rhinox transformation that we've ever had. A shame he's been a shelf warmer because he's just that good. Let me know what you think about the little Battlemaster guy and the mainline Rhinox. Like me, have you skipped him only to learn like he's actually pretty fantastic? Did you experience him and for some weird reason not like it? The way all of this compacts in robot mode is nice too, because it still gives him a full range of motion. Man, oh man, oh man. Diamond in the rough. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.